Hello and what is up everyone, it is Hachi from the Art of Dota, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the new rank season and specifically how the new recalibration system works, because it is different, significantly different from how it worked in season 1. I have Valve's blog post here that they recently released talking about the new rank season, just so we can go through and see what Valve actually has to say about how the new calibration is going to work. But in this video, I'm going to also be going through my own experience calibrating, because I know, at least me and my friends, we've all calibrated already, but a lot of people out there, especially for solo queue, they're a little bit nervous. They don't want to just rush into the calibration games, and you want to know how things work first before you go in and maybe make some drastic changes to your MMR. But first off, we're just going to start and read this real quick about what Valve specifically has to say. So first thing is, they say that the new rank medal will be calculated through a calibration period of 10 games. So nothing has changed there. It's still going to take 10 games. That's nice to know. Second thing is, they say that the season calibration will allow for a substantial change in your rank based on your performance during calibration. Now, what does substantial mean, guys? And for this season, substantial means literally thousands of MMR. Yes, you heard me right. You can gain or lose thousands of MMR. 1,000, 2,000. I don't even know what the limit is. Based on your calibration games. And it says it's going to be based on your performance. What does that actually mean? I'll go over that later on. And it does not mean your KDA, GPM, and all of that. That is thrown out the window. It's literally based on how many games you win versus how many games you lose. They also say that your rank is going to be seeded by your previous rank, which means that that's your starting point. And it goes through all this other stuff about how the medals have changed. Instead of Divine 5, now we have a new rank called Immortal, that is the top 1,000. And instead of going from 1 star to 5 stars, or instead of from going 0 stars to 5 stars, it is now 1 star to 5 star in terms of like the other ranks, Divine, Archon, Ancient, etc. And also your previous badge is going to be shown in your profile. I'll show you all of that. But let's just get into Dota. You guys want to watch Dota, you don't want to watch this random blog post on your screen all day. So I have a game here, and this game is from one of my calibration games, and I chose this specifically because this game actually has a lot of good examples in terms of calibration I can share with you guys. So let's just go through my own experience first. So for me, I went 6 and 4, and I calibrated at, I'll show you so you don't think I'm bullshitting, 6.8, but I did play a couple of games since then, but I calibrated at 6.870, something like that. And you can see my medal is Immortal, and this is the top 100 medal. For a split second I had the top 10 medal because I was like rank 2 or something like that, because I literally was like one of the first people to calibrate. But you can see this is the medal. These are the changes to the medals. These are the Immortal medals. And that's it. But again, I chose this game because it has the rank 1 player in North America. By the way, I'm on the NA server. So this is the rank 1 player. He's Van from Peru. And he calibrated at 8.3k. And before, he was around like 7.4, something like that. And he literally gained almost 1,000 MMR. He gained 1,000 MMR during his calibrations. Now, what was his record? He went 9 and 1. He almost won all of his games, and he had a significant increase in his MMR. Now, in this game, I also have my friend here who went 6 and 4, I believe. And he roughly lost MMR, actually. So, interesting. He went 6 and 4. I also went 6 and 4, and by the way, I also lost MMR. So I calibrated at 6.8, but I was around 7k, like almost 7k flat. Now, one weird thing happened during my calibration, though. Like, my first calibration game, I queued before the calibration came out, or before the patch came out. The patch came out during the game I was playing, my first game. But then, when I restarted, I apparently already had one calibration game played, so it counted that one game that happened during the patch as my first calibration game. So I don't know if that was taken into effect. It probably did. But again, you guys might wonder, how did me and my friend lose MMR even though we went positive? Now, what I believe is it's based off of seeding, right? So the games aren't all balanced. It's not all 25 MMR games comparing to regular ranked, right? Not calibration ranked. So in some games, it's gonna matter more than others, and I think for me, I just didn't happen to win those games, and I did have a couple of clowning games. There was a game where a lot of my I think half my team just started running down mid, and I just gave up because the game was pretty much over. We had another game where there was a clockwork on my team that was just AFK. So again, you're still gonna get game ruiners, and I don't know if it's fair to give and take so much MMR just based on 10 games. And again, it's not based on your performance in terms of KDA and anything like that. It's literally based on your win ratio, but it's also based on the difficulty of the game, I guess is the best way to call it. Let's say they put you with really low MMR players, and if you don't win, you're gonna lose a crap ton of MMR. That's what happened to my friend. Luckily for him, he won. They started putting with really low ranked players, 5k, and he was 7k, so they put him with 5k players near the end of his calibration. And let's say he didn't win those games, he happened to lose, I would think that would be a significant hit to his MMR. Now we have another player here in this game, Konichiwa, and he was rank 200. He was ranked 200, which is around roughly 6.5 MMR in NA, and he gained MMR to 7.4k because he happened to be on Van's team in a lot of games, and he just got carried. So he got carried in a lot of high value games. He also went 6-4, by the way. He went 6-4 and he gained 800 MMR. Well, maybe not 800, 500, 600, something like that. I went 6-4 and I lost MMR. Now, you guys might say, maybe I just played badly, but that's not the case. That is not the case, and I'll show you proof, because one of the developers from Valve posted on Reddit. His name is Jeff Hill, and the question was, someone asked him how the new calibration is going to work, and he says that he's done work on the recalibration code, and he says that for the season recalibration games, it only uses wins and losses. Only uses wins and losses. The relative team rank, which is the match fairness, that's what I was talking about, and also the estimated uncertainty on your rank. Now, he also says that you will not get additional calibration credit for your performance in the game beyond simply winning the game. For example, hero damage, kills, assist, wards, place, creep score, GPM, hero choice. Those things do not inform the recalibration system. So literally, it's only 3 things. Your win ratio in those 10 games, the team balance, which again, you have no control over, because matchmaking is going to give you whatever game it decides to give you. You have no control over that. It can give you really low MMR teammates, and what happens if you're a support player? Obviously, if you're a mid player, you can probably easily carry that game. What happens if you're a support player? You just get boned. Maybe there was no other core player in your team, and you're forced to play a role that you don't like. I guess you can queue ranked roles. I don't know if you can do that for calibration. But again, a lot of things factor into this, and they're literally taking away thousands of MMR from people who just got unlucky with the matches. For example, KVH, a player in NA, went from 7.5k. He was around 7.5k to 6.2k. He lost more than 1,000 MMR. Now, I don't know exactly what his record was, but I don't think he went particularly negative. He just so happened to lost some games that he shouldn't have. Maybe he like got put in a low MMR game. There was a feeder on his team. I didn't actually follow his calibration as he was streaming it, but I was also calibrating myself, and I didn't happen to be in any of his games, but I'm assuming that's what happened. So he got put in like a low MMR game. He happened to just lose it, and Valve's like, "Oh, you lost a low MMR game? You must be 6K." And they took away 1,000 MMR from this former like top 20 player in NA. Now, I don't know if that's fair. Now, I have another image here of a guy who lost all 10 of his games. And he went from Ancient to Archon. From Ancient to Archon. Now, I don't know, again, if that is all fair, but I'm just here to deliver the news to you guys. Before playing your calibration games, you gotta know that you can potentially be risking losing thousands of MMR. And again, it's not based on your performance at all. It's based on your win ratio. I know this is going to stress some of you guys out, but you know, all that MMR you work for throughout the whole season, if you just get a little bit unlucky. I know I got some intentional feeders in my game, but I happened to mostly get some good games. You know, I had some bad games. At least in the games I lost, I got some even games, but for the most part, I actually had like decent teammates that were tryharding. And I think that's what Valve thinks. Like, okay, everyone's playing calibration games; they're gonna try hard. Like, but that's just not how Dota works. Like, people just go crazy, right? And if you just get unlucky, you know, the luck of the draw. You have bad teammates; they put you in a badly seeded game. In terms of like the fairness, as Jeff Hill was talking about, if you just get some games that are quote unquote like in your favor because of your MMR, but you lose those games, say goodbye. Say goodbye to your MMR. Say goodbye to your medals. You worked hard for Ancient, but they put you in like a Archon game and you just so happen to lose it for whatever reason. I guess you're Archon now. Well, that's all I have to say about how the calibration actually works. But if you guys want, you know, actual stories, my experience calibrating, I would say that when I calibrated, there was like a lot of high-level players playing, including Van. I lost a couple of games to him as well, and overall, it was okay. But I don't know for you guys, you know, calibrating way in the future when everyone already has their medals and stuff like that. It's gonna be a whole different story, I think, because like those people won't care as much because they're not calibrating. So I think it's actually best off that you calibrate right now. You calibrate right now because if you're playing with other people calibrating and they know that hundreds to thousands of MMR are on the line, they're more likely to try hard. But if you calibrate in the future, you don't know what those people are doing. Those people that already have their badges, they already have their medals, they're going to lose 25 MMR. But you lose that game, you might be losing 200 MMR for that game. I mean, of course you can't tell exactly, but you might be losing 200 MMR for that game. That guy's only losing 25, and he doesn't care. So I would actually recommend you guys, I would urge you guys to calibrate right now. Get it over with while everyone's still tryharding for the most part. And just hope that you get a little bit lucky. So I feel like a lot of how calibration has working this season is just luck. Of course, like if you're able to influence and win most of your games, you're gonna be rewarded for that. But at the same time, I think the lack of control that you have over what games you actually get is pretty disturbing. And I mean, at least for me and my friends, I mean, we calibrated relatively even or equal to our old MMRs. But I know some people who lost a lot, including, I did mention the example of KVH, but I also know people that gained a lot. Like, for example, Tomato, he went from 7.2k-ish or 7.1k to almost 8k. So he's like around 7.9 now, and he went 7-3. And now the difference between his 7-3 and like another player's 7-3 can be completely different depending on what games Valve actually gives you. And this is also very likely to fluctuate when you're playing at this high MMR. Maybe in like 3k or 2k, you're gonna maybe not make as much gains. But who knows? Who knows what the system's going to throw at you? You might be randomly Archon, and suddenly they throw you an Ancient game, and you win that one, and then suddenly now you're Ancient. You just went from Archon to Ancient like that. But again, there's also potential for huge gains. There's potential for huge losses. This new rank season feels like you're playing the lottery, and I'm lucky that I didn't lose too much. I lost like 100 something MMR. I'm pretty much already back after playing a couple of games to my old MMR. I'm like minus 50 from what I used to be. So I'm not too mad, but I know a lot of people out there are. I know there's people considering quitting because they literally spent like half a year climbing their MMR. Like maybe, they went from like 2K to 3K, which is respectable. And then they get a little bit unlucky in their calibration games, and they just lost all of that. All of that is thrown in the trash. And again, of course, your performance and how well you play the game is going to still affect whether you win or lose. So, like, if you're a really good player like Van, of course, he's going to be able to win 9 out of 10 of these games when everyone else is tryharding. Like, in this game, he also dominated in most of his games as well. But again, that doesn't matter. All that matters is whether you win or lose. So, that's going to be it for this video, as we're going to watch this one last team fight. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about the new MMR system or new recalibration system. If you guys haven't calibrated yet, if you guys have, tell me your experience, because I still don't exactly know how everything works. But again, I have a lot of examples, people gaining crap tons of MMR, also losing a crap ton. And again, most of it is just going to be based on your win-loss. Which I guess is fair, and it makes sense. But at the same time, I think the biggest issue is not having control over what games you actually play. So that's going to be it for this video. I have more information in the future about how you can improve your calibration. I'll make another follow-up video. But I'm going to end the game off with that ultra kill from Van. Rank 1 player NA. Peace out, everyone. It's been cool. Hachi, signing out.